So my personal Asperger's experience goes a little something like this. I used to use fake voices. I would hold back the power of my voice. I would hold back expression so much. I would be so rigid. I used to mumble like crazy. I still kind of do. Eye contact was horrid. I had to train myself how to look at people, and then I'd stare them down, and then I had to train myself to look away, and I had to manually learn a lot of social stuff. I would overthink about people's feelings because you know what? I could feel people's feelings. I could feel them, and I had a lot of compassion for people. And this would confuse my communication because I wanted to tell people what they wanted to hear, not out of manipulation, but I just wanted to please people, I guess, and that's its own thing. I was very rigid, and people would ask behind my back if I was handicapped, and people called me retarded. But when I drank, all of my charisma and would come out, and I could be the life of a party, and I could joke, and the rigidness would go away. It's like I had oil on my rigid parts, and everything would just come out smoothly. Actually, it was weed that actually taught me how to talk. It just opened up my social ability. Anyways, I learned how to speak more smoothly, as in not hold back, not be so rigid, not be so confused. Anyways, I love to check out encyclopedias at the library, and I was always doing research about the pyramids and the paranormal, and I wanted to figure out the big picture. I wanted to put all the mysteries of the world together and bust them open. And I love to study human behavior and the spiritual aspect of humans. I'm an artist and I draw women for some reason. Lots of women. They just come through my hand very quickly and they're very flirty. And they draw themselves. My hand just goes at it. I don't do so much anymore though. Anyways, people didn't trust me because I was quiet and awkward and confusing because I didn't know what to do with my eyes and my elbows. People just didn't trust me. And eventually I learned to let out my silliness, and this would confuse them, and they didn't know if they wanted to be my friend or not because they were attracted to I learned how to entertain them and with humor when they tried to bully me, and I learned to stand up for myself, which was exhausting because I had to really really push my deepest self out. And anyways, I adore patterns. I see patterns everywhere, and my mind is always pulled in many directions because ultimately everything is connected. So it's very hard for me to just stick to one subject when I'm writing, or I mean, just everything is connected, and when I'm trying to talk. Anyways, I remember watching people and wondering how do they do that small talk stuff? Like, how do they do it? How do you be social? How do you have friends? How does that work? And I would take mental notes. Like, if someone was super cool, I thought I could never be their friend. But then I'd look at their friends, and their friends were no smarter or no cooler than me. And I'd learned that to take the pressure off myself, that I had to be so cool just to have friends. I eventually learned to be myself. I observed a lot, and I did a lot of self talking and a lot of self therapy. It felt like someone or something was with me, telling me to pay attention to certain things so I could learn. And I felt like I was totally on the outside um, of social connection, which was torture for me. Oh, absolutely torture. It's horrid. The self conflict was horrid. Lack of connection was torture. I would cry all the time. Okay, but it's much better. Much, much better. Much better now. Thank God. Thank God I'm through it all. Through the hard darkness part.